What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Born to Create podcast, ran by Acef.media. You can listen to this podcast on YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we are there. Also, make sure to check us out on Instagram at Born to Create podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ace. I'm a 19-year-old photographer, videographer, and a passionate apple pie eater, and this is my co-host,
Frank. I'm a graphic designer, photographer, and videographer. So thank you for tuning in on this episode. So we're going to be talking about the struggles about being a photographer and how to overcome them. So what is a big thing that you struggle with?
Definitely having clients not knowing what they want. Whenever I have that or I run into that situation, I generally ask them, like, what is the plan of this video or the photos? Like, what do you want to do with it? Social media and stuff like that, just so I have an idea. I also write everything down on my notebook so I don't forget about it. And then I'll ask them, okay, are we shooting indoors? Are we shooting outdoors? Do you want city shots, nature shots? What kind of style are you going for? Are we shooting products? Or what else are we doing? Just so I can gain more information about them and what they want. And then if possible, I try and hop on a call with them just so you can actually run through everything with kind of what they want, what they need. So, make sure you do write that stuff down though, so you don't forget about it. And then you're asking them about that. And then you're asking them about it later. You just seem like you're unprepared and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. So same thing with me. I really look, when I take a gig for photography or videography, I'm always looking for, what is the purpose? Why am I filming this for?
Yeah.
Is it just for you to have it? Is it for people to go from this video to your website or this picture to, what is the goal? So that's why I like to have a consultation meeting with my clients and talk to them and see exactly what's the whole point of this. And from there I can curate it to make sure it is made for Instagram or made for this kind of style and really get the information they need out of the video. So if we're doing a video, let's say, or a picture, you really want to bring out the story of what they're trying to say.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want you to take a picture to take a picture. There has to be a whole meaning behind it. So it's just finding that meaning and understanding what they want, the style, like you were saying, things like that. And from there, then you can actually fully understand we're on the same page. And then from there, you do the whole project.
Yeah, write up contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's a big struggle trying to, if they don't know what they want, then you have to actually, sit down for an hour or two and actually get it out of their system and, actually know what they want. And then you're on the same page and then it's good to go from there.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. It's just one thing that I find a lot of people don't know exactly what they want.
Exactly.
And it's your job as a photographer to figure out what they want so that you can help them gain clientele and then they have that trust in you and then you build a good relationship with them and then they keep coming back to you for more business.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, the inner struggle, I was talking, it's just if you don't know what you're doing, if I'm not sure what I'm capturing and I'm going to an event and I'm just capturing whatever, then I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I feel I'm not insecure, but I don't know. I'm scared of is this going to be
lost.
Good? Exactly. I'm well, what am I doing?
And you don't know what to film. You don't know what to shoot, right?
Exactly.
So it's better to figure out what the client wants or get out of them what they want, so that you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing whenever you go there to do what you're doing.
Exactly. Especially for pictures, am I shooting outdoors? Do I need a flash? Do I need audio? Yeah. Do I need a light setup? It's things I don't want to be bringing 10 bags of gear if I only need my camera and a flash.
Yeah, no, exactly. 100%. Another thing that I find generally we struggle with is having models that aren't comfortable in front of a camera. That's another thing that a lot of photographers tend to struggle with. So you got to make sure that you make the model comfortable. You're talking with them or even meet up with them beforehand if they would discuss everything, go over everything that's about the shoot. Make sure you plan your shoot. We talked about that in the previous episodes, so make sure you guys go listen to that after this episode. But basically, yeah, planning the shoot, make sure the model is comfortable to get the best product out of the shoot.
Yeah, it's just easier that way. Yeah.
No, yeah, 100%. Another thing is also struggling finding clients.
Yeah.
That's one thing, and marketing and stuff like that. But we will cover an episode on marketing.
Yeah, and the whole networking, how to grab some clients and things like that.
Yeah, how to build your portfolio, gain networking, gain clients and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely looking for clients. I find a lot of photographers struggle or don't know how to market themselves to gain clients.
Yes.
So that is one thing. I mean, one thing people can do is like start using social media to your advantage. Go on all social medias, comment on people's stuff. Let people know, let people around you know what you're doing, so that you can help them out or they can help you out. You know,
Yeah.
that's one thing that you can do to not have to struggle with finding clients or finding money and stuff like that.
Exactly. Like, let's say you have a hobby, you like skateboarding, you're like playing hockey, soccer, something. Okay, then go to those companies, go to those people that you know that play those sports. Talk to the parents, see if they like if their business needs a photographer and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, you can network crazy. Like, I know real estate agents. Most of them are used to be like pro athletes or were going to be athletes, so they have those connections of all those parents of all those teams they used to play on. Like, those are huge connections that you might not think of. Like, oh, my buddy's parents. You probably don't even think about that. But like,
Yeah.
those are clients that they've probably been in the industry, in their industry for a while. Like, you can grab clients from them. If it's not them, maybe it's friends of theirs or things like that.
No, exactly.
And like, yeah, the other thing is location hunting as
Yeah.
well. Like, just the struggle of finding locations. I find.
Especially like, I'm not just trying to say like Ottawa is bad for it, but living in Ottawa, you're kind of limited to how much stuff you can shoot, because you want to be like different than everyone else is. So almost like trying to find, even if you use the same location, grabbing a different angle.
Yeah.
That's another thing. But yeah, like location scouting is one thing. Takes time, takes effort. Go ahead, make sure you write the locations down and stuff like that. That like, so you have knowledge of it, so you can use it for future shoots, stuff like that. One huge thing people struggle with is figuring out how to price yourself and how to price yourself properly. I mean, even we both still struggle with it a bit.
Yep.
That'll be a whole episode on its own. I want to
Yeah.
bring someone on for that. Talk about pricing and stuff like that. But yeah, like you got to figure out like, how much do you think you're worth?
Yeah, it's all about that. Like, oh, don't undersell yourself.
And then don't oversell yourself, so you're not like gaining that clientele. And like right off the bat, like if you're charging someone, let's say $50 for a full shoot, and then you get some more expensive gear, but you haven't really gained any experience, and then you want to charge them like crazy, like the same client like crazy, like they're not gonna go for it, because you already kind of screwed yourself over and charged them $50 right off the bat for doing something that should cost them like, let's say $200.
Yeah.
You know, you've already like undersold yourself, and now they're, and like, I mean, they might believe you if you're trying to like raise your price for the next one like crazy, but like try and like price yourself properly. That's one thing. Like,
Yeah, it all depends on your clientele.
yeah,
So figure out that niche, figure out who your target audience is, and from there you can figure out somewhat of the prices that other people charge, and find out what you should charge for yourself. Or
the thing is finding your own style.
yeah,
That is really, it's very hard to do, or like I find it's hard finding exactly the niche and what you want to shoot. That takes like a long time to figure out.
yeah,
For most people, I mean, there's people that kind of get into it and know exactly what they want to shoot, but for a lot of people, like, I mean, especially me and you, like, we want to shoot, like, cover a whole bunch of stuff, but it's very hard to stick with one thing, because a lot of people, if you're hiring a wedding photographer, you generally want someone who specializes in weddings, you know?
yeah. You won't get someone that does everything. You want someone that does weddings.
So like that's another hard thing to kind of figure out, where exactly you want to sit and like what you want to just kind of pretty much almost shoot for the rest of your life.
Exactly. So
instead of like separate projects by yourself. But
yeah, so like it's good to be able to do a lot of different types of shoots, especially if you're going like commercial photography way. But yeah, finding a niche and actually like understanding everything about it and knowing everything about it will get you clients in that domain. So just pick the one you want and then just stick to it until you're the best at it, or you think you're the best at it. Just because like people come for somebody that's good and it's just good at that. Like, I'm not going to be looking for somebody that knows how to build a website if they do everything else, and then they touch a bit of website.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Things like that.
Exactly, 100%. One thing.
What? Yeah.
People messaging you about like expecting stuff to be free. I find one thing, like especially like in the arts in general, as
Big
like
time.
a whole, people expect things to be free, or, oh, I can give you good exposure.
Yeah.
Okay, yes,
To a fair point.
there is good exposure, but it all depends on what they are asking you for.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's something totally crazy and it's not really like, not necessarily like not in your niche, but like you're not really going to gain too much value off of it. Like, I don't find there's a point. Yes, it's good to learn stuff, but like exposure only goes a long way. Like you can't pay your bills from exposure.
Yeah.
You know, you can't buy your gear. You can't do stuff like that because photography gear is pretty expensive. Like it's an expensive hobby to get into.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, people coming to you with exposure or messaging you, asking you about your prices, and then, then they're like, okay, thanks. But like, it seems like they're not interested in you or stuff like that.
Yeah, like,
or your prices are too high, or they don't have the money ready.
Like it is what it is. Like we can't complain too much about it. Like,
Yeah,
people are just like that sometimes, but it's just a struggle that like you're like, I don't know, kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
I'm not really trying to complain about it. Kind of just
like
give knowledge to people coming to photographers to talk about stuff. Like, this is what we've already kind of dealt with. This is how we deal with things. Like, this can help photographers too, who might run into those situations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So another thing a lot of photographers struggle with is like staying inspired. Or like,
Big time.
yeah.
Like, no matter what, as a creative, you're going to crash here and there. You're not going to be inspired all the time. But it's like, what could you do to inspire yourself later on?
Yeah.
So, like, let's say you have like a bad day. Okay, well then maybe it's going outside, going for a hike, playing sports, going to the gym. Just like get those emotions out or whatnot, and then you can get inspired that way. Reading books, like, honestly, it can be anything. It all depends on the kind of person you are.
Yeah, because like you can find inspiration anywhere from doing anything.
Exactly, because like when I have roadblocks, I have a stack of books of just like examples of images, work, design work. Like you never know. Like, maybe you can read a poem and you'll be inspired from that to do a whole photo shoot, or a whole concept. You never know.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's just finding different things to motivate yourself.
Yeah.
Or inspire yourself.
I mean, all in all, every like craft has its own struggles.
Yeah.
But like these are kind of just some stuff that we've struggled with. Like, this is generally like personal opinion or like stuff we talk to like other photographers and stuff with. But yeah, like try and definitely, if you notice something keeps coming up, try and figure out a way to get around it. Or like out of it, so you're already prepared when someone comes to you. Like, a lot of stuff, like our clients not knowing what they want, we have stuff written down, or like kind of set procedures that we'll go through, so we figure out what they want, and then you secure that clientele. Because, I mean, you want to get their money. Like, you need to get paid. You know, you want to help them, and you also want to help yourself and get paid and stuff like that. So, figuring out a way around these things and like little tips and tricks that you can use.
Yeah.
It's so much helpful to actually be like making money off photography and stuff like that. One thing I find, at least we struggle with, is like a lot of negativity you'll receive from other photographers.
Yeah, like everybody has their own style. They'll have their own opinions. I mean, it is what it is. We don't like everybody. Everybody doesn't like us.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but I find like, I don't know, people should be more willing to help support people and like help them gain clients and stuff like that. Like, in the end of the day, like, I generally want to see everyone win.
Yeah.
You know, what's the point in being, say you're the best photographer in the world, you're the most richest photographer in the world, but your other photographer buddies are like poor and stuff like that, and you want to go travel somewhere with them. You got to pay for them, you know?
Yeah.
In the end of the day, if everyone's winning, you don't have to worry about paying for people to do things and stuff like that. Like, that's just one example to look at it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I generally just want to see everyone grow. That's why I made this. That's why we're creating this podcast.
Yeah, giving you guys some more information about us, like how we struggled and how you can get some value from this.
Yeah.
And maybe like help yourselves and get some gigs from this or something.
Yeah, definitely. Like tips and tricks we've gone through. We also want to bring on other guests to talk about stuff that they're kind of focusing on and other stuff. Bring exposure to them and value to them as well as they do to us.
Yeah.
Good friends we work with, stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's, for the most part, that's pretty much it. At least we struggle with.
Yeah, exactly. Like later on, we'll find more ideas and go about them and talk to more new people. So that's the thing of getting other people on this podcast as well, is like we'll get different insights from other people's perspectives. It's not just ours.
Yeah.
So we can actually learn from them as well. And from there, give you guys better feedback.
No, yeah, 100%. 100%. So it's a little short episode, but thank you guys for stopping by and listening to this episode. Stay tuned for upcoming topics surrounding the creative industry. If you'd like us to go over a certain topic, let us know in the comments below. If you're listening to the audio version, send us a DM at Born to Create Podcast. You can check me out at Acef.media.
And you can check my long IG at fm.photography_design.
Certifiably the longest Instagram name on Instagram. I'm just saying.
You know it.
Statistically proven.
Right.
Everything will be linked in the description, though. Thank you guys so much for listening to this.
Catch you on the next one.
Stay woke.